Anointed Warriors. What's up, spiritual family? And welcome back to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. If you're new to the channel, this ministry is dedicated to those who have made mistakes, those who are amongst what we would call the have-nots, the less fortunates, those who can see the fact that mankind has lost his way, those who can see that truth and refuse to follow that crowd over the cliff. This ministry is for those who have made mistakes but continue to fight and strive to be the best person that they could be. This ministry is for those people who are hurting, who have been betrayed, who feel lost, who feel confused. If that's you, you've come to the right place. This ministry recommends a holistic approach, because that's what's at the foundation of this ministry, a holistic approach to life, to health and wellness, and to walking the path that he has set before us. This ministry believes that when we do something each and every day that acknowledges, that nourishes, that strengthens, that rests and renews our minds, our bodies, and our spirit, this makes us more potent as his warriors. And of course, it causes us to live and have a more happy, more fulfilling life in the physical realm as well. So I'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end of the video. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys, if you aren't familiar with it, just an awe-inspiring testimony, my own personal testimony. For some of you guys that's watching this, it may not be inspiring to you at all. It may be rather off-putting. And yet the truth remains. He's real. He's on the throne. He's been working in a lot of you guys' lives, and you know that. And today's message is to acknowledge and to encourage you guys to take a step back, if you would, and realize that you're really, really dominating your enemies. You really are. And this is not coming from an egotistical or arrogant or boastful place, but it's coming from a very factual, a very sincere, genuine, and a very truthful place. You've gone through the fire. You've worked hard. You've suffered. You've endured. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you remaining humble and modest while giving yourself credit / giving him credit and letting that light shine boldly, because that's what you're doing. You really got your enemies confused. You really got your enemies seeing their mistakes, becoming aware of the fact that you really are a child of God. And I want you guys to take a second and realize that, because some of my spiritual brothers out there, you may be aware of this and others may not. Because even though you're dominating your enemies, even though your enemies are becoming aware that they can't stop you, you literally are invincible in this thing that we call God. It doesn't mean you don't have trials, tribulations. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that when you zoom out, you're able to realize that, oh wow, that thing, that guy, that girl, that person, those circumstances, finances, whatever it may be, what the doctor said, work, toxic workplaces, whatever the situation may be, you're able to realize, wow, those things don't even bother me the way that they used to. They don't even bother you the way that they used to. Some of them don't even bother you at all. You're still aware, you haven't numbed out, you haven't dumbed down. You're still aware of the toxicity. You're still aware of the enemy and his attempts to attack you, to bring you down. You haven't ran from that. But you no longer feel the need to engage with that, to retaliate, to be fearful of that. You're no longer pissed off, discouraged by that. And if those things do take place, they're very fleeting. Some of you out there were people on your jobs that really just irritated you and aggravated you, socially bullied you, and just kind of seemingly zapped all of your energy, like you dreaded going to the workplace and having to see that person. And you may have not have realized that as of lately, it doesn't bother you anymore. You are really, really dominating your enemies. And even though, because we're naturally humble, don't get me wrong, we all have this warrior spirit, which makes us natural born competitors. But the fact of the matter is, you don't feel the need to retaliate anymore. You don't feel the need to engage them, to prove your point, to show them that you knew what that slick statement meant, or you don't feel the need to explain yourself or to let them know that, it doesn't bother you anymore. You don't feel the need to even judge them anymore. And this is, again, on all the different spectrums of life that you individually have been faced with, that you've been struggling with. Some of you guys, again, it's in your health. Some it's in your finances, others in your relationships, some in a multitude of different areas. But either way, you know that you notice that you have this calm in the midst of the storm. The storm hasn't ceased, but your ability to navigate that storm, to stay focused, to stay on course, to stay on message, to keep your bearings and not be tore down and drained and become fearful about it all. You're not that way anymore. And even though you don't rub this in the enemy's face, and you're not running around with I overcame it all attitude, because again, we're naturally humble. Even though you're not that way, and you don't feel the need to be boastful, the enemy sees it. Your enemies see, like they literally see, and more importantly, they literally feel that the tricks, their schemes, their tactics, all the things that once so easily beset you, sound familiar? All those things that once easily beset you, you just walk right through. And again, you don't numb out. Sometimes it may very well upset you. But you notice that, wow, even though that was hurtful, even though that was disappointing and upsetting, didn't affect me. I just felt it, acknowledged it, and move on. And when you zoom out and you stop and think about it, you realize that you're doing these things without even having to do these things. Like, you're not planning. There was a day, there was a time, there was a season when you had to go in and you had to put on your battle gear, and you had to, mental up and make sure that you was focused and concentrated. And now you don't have to do any of those things. It's just water off a duck's back. Pardon me. So this is a new day. This is a new season. And he is doing new things in your lives. Some of you guys may not have actually reached this particular point in your journey just yet, but just keep going. It takes 15 years to become a 15-year-old. It takes 25 years to become a 25-year-old. So what am I saying? No steps can be skipped. It takes 60 minutes to reach an hour. You can't skip now one of those minutes. So you have to go through the process. So just keep going. And let today's message serve to you as a reminder. Let it serve to you as encouragement that even though you may not be on this level yet, this is the level that you're headed to. And for those of you who have reached this level in terms of realizing that those things don't bother you anymore, and if and when they do bother you, it's like water off a duck's back, it's now incumbent upon you. You're now spiritually required to give back. In those seemingly non-existent moments when there's an opportunity to help someone who genuinely is seeking help, not someone who wants to trick you and manipulate your energy and backstab you, but someone who's truly worthy. When you come across those people, and when I say worthy, I'm not saying in a judgmental way, because we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory. But we also have discerning to know that, okay, that person's not going to appreciate it. That person's going to weaponize my forgiveness, my kindness against me. They're just going to try to use me as their emotional doormat. We have discernment to know that. So to those people, we put it in God's hands and, pray that God's will be done in their lives, and we keep it moving. And when you come across those people who genuinely have that energy, and God will let you know, you don't have to stop and think intellectually, let me figure it out. Is this person worthy? It'll know. It's an impression deep down in your heart, in your spirit, that lets you know that person really needs a hand up, a word of encouragement, some time spent with them, some information, some financial assistance, whatever. And you genuinely know that. And then when you know that, when he reveals that to you, it's incumbent upon you. It's now required of you to give back. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. And so you have become the enemy's greatest fear. You really is dominating the enemy, confusing the enemy, and the enemy they don't know what to do with you anymore. They don't know what to do with you anymore. You may realize that some of their attacks, if not all of their attacks, have ceased. Like they don't even waste their time trying to attack you anymore, because they realize that the more that they try to attack you, and the more that you remain unbothered by it, then it makes them have to deal with their own sadness, with their own rudeness, with their own wrongdoings. As before, they could get a reward out the deal, a seeming reward, knowing that, they could dominate you, they could play with your emotions, they could make you feel a certain way and make you attend all the company functions and laugh at jokes that weren't funny to you, and become somebody else that wasn't natural to you in order to fit in. Now they realize that, wow, we can't get that out of this guy or out of this girl anymore. And so they go on about their business. You have your enemy confused. Walk in that. It's about to be a new year. It's about to be a new year. And there's more growth still. We don't sit back and rest on our laurels. He keeps taking us from glory to glory. So he's got more in store for you. A part of that more in store for you is to give back. Seek out, search for, and sometimes when he wills you to do so, if there's nobody, you can't find anybody, you can't find a way to get that love out, to get that encouragement out, you make a way. You don't wait for everything to always be perfect, everything to always line up. You walk in that God-given discernment. And within that God-given discernment, speaking to me personally and some of the people that I counsel, he orders us, instructs us to make a way. Well, I'm going to go down in this hateful and hurtful neighborhood or environment. I'm going to stand out and see if there's anybody that I could pray for. I'm going to stand out and see if there's any elderly people that I can help carry their grocery. I'm going to see if there's anybody that that may even give me eye contact, and I'm driving on them, if you will, with this love, with this hope, with this encouragement, all under the umbrella of his authority, his guidance, and his discernment. You see. So that's what I got for you guys, man. Just a word of encouragement, a word to say, hey, listen, when you stop and think about it, and some of you guys, again, you've already realized it. And some of you guys are just coming into this, and this video might be a wake-up call to say, you know what, now that I think about it, Minister Mongoose is on to something. You know, the boss, the co-worker, the narcissist, in the workplace, out in society, the people that you come across daily. Once upon a time, you were not even comfortable about going out to a grocery store or whatever. You just had basically became somewhat of a hermit and only went, where you needed to go. And now you realize that, you're just kind of going whenever, and you're not worried about how people are going to treat you. You're not worried about how people are going to think you. You're not worried about their attacks. You're just walking in your power, the power of him that's always been in you. And that is a beautiful thing. Don't let that escape. If you fall down, that's fine. Just get back up. I've been riding a bike since as long as I can remember. Some of you have been riding bikes as long as you can remember. That doesn't mean you may not be riding a bicycle now in your 60s, your 70s, your 20s, or even your teens. Doesn't mean that once you've mastered riding that bike, there's no chance that you'll fall. There's always a chance that you'll fall. Pardon me. But just like riding that bike, if you fall, you just confidently get back up and you realize, I know how to ride this bike. That just happened. I'm right back on the bike. I'm not questioning myself. I'm not doubting myself. I'm not tricking myself into thinking that I have to relearn how to ride this bike. No. So if you'd like some information about, how to do that, again, there's a few days left in this free offer that I'm extending to all of my subscribers, and that is to contact me for a free initial consultation and or evaluation, whether it's in the area of some of the mental practices and some of the mental philosophies, some of the spiritual strategies, or if it's in good old-fashioned physical fitness. That's what this is, a mind, body, and spirit ministry, and I'll get into that here in just a second. But in any of the areas, good old-fashioned motivation, if it's in any of these areas, youth counseling, got some kids that are, not necessarily listening. Sometimes kids tune their parents out, whatever the case may be. I'm going to leave a link down in the description so that you can call and take advantage of a free, zero strings attached, 30-minute consultation in any and or all of those areas, mind, body, and spirit. So let's get into that as I close this video out. This ministry is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. The services and the beliefs that this ministry is founded on consist of experiential philosophy for the mind, ISSA certified fitness training for the body, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices for the spirit and for the soul. All of these beliefs and all of the services are all merged, balanced, and synthesized, and then presented to you in an effort to help you operate at a premium in your mentality, your physicality, and in your spirituality, and all of your walkings as long as the days that you're on this planet. I'm going to leave a contact link, as I mentioned, down in the description for the email. If you'd like to reach out, it's an evangelical ministry. I unite with people all across the country, city officials, private functions for family members and gatherings, social organizations, community leaders, activists throughout the entire country. And I go there and present these type of messages. The importance of having a mind, body, and spirit approach to this walk in life and to health and wellness. So if you're interested in the possibility of recruiting me to come to your city, your state, your neighborhood, if you know what that protocol would consist of, if you'd like to know what that protocol consists of, then again, reach out via the email link down in the description. Also, please visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. Get a little bit of experience and become more familiar, if you will. There we go. Become more familiar with my experience, with my expertise in the field of diet, nutrition, weightlifting, exercise, all that kinds of good stuff, flexibility training. The website is at mountfitnessmbs.com. So I thank you guys again for all the love and support. I'm going to ask you guys to please give back to this ministry. If you found any value in this ministry, any value whatsoever, in today's message or in the ministry collectively, then please give back to this ministry. You can do so by subscribing to the channel if you aren't already subscribed, and by hitting the share button and the like button on each and every message. If you haven't done it just yet in this message, please take the time out, if you would, and hit the share and the like button. Hit the subscribe if you aren't already subscribed as well. And this helps grow this ministry. It helps this ministry become available to help even more people. Also, please hit the bell icon if you'd like to receive a notice every time I upload a new message. That's what I got for you guys. If you'd like to help this ministry even further and make a monetary donation, I'm going to leave a link down in the description for that. But hey, go out, man. You really are. And you know who you are. You know if you're on a certain level and you're not on this level yet, it's still kind of a bother. It's still kind of it's still difficult. It's still very challenging. Situations, circumstances, fears about what the doctor said, about your finances, about whether or not your marriage is going to work, whatever the case may be. Those things still irritate you to a pretty much large degree. If you're there, that's fine. Just keep going. Reach out to this ministry for some good old-fashioned fellowship and or services. And if you're already on this level where you've already realized that those things don't bother you no more, or you're beginning to realize that, hey, now that I think about it, those things really don't bother me, or they don't bother me the way they used to, and for as long as they used to, then you're now required by him, not by me, because each one teach one. Spread the gospel. Gospel just means good news, so it doesn't matter what religion, politics, your ethnicity, your race, none of that. Spread the gospel. If you're already at that level, then it's incumbent upon you to now give back and help others reach that level as well. That's what I got for you guys. I love you all. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, I encourage you guys to be smart, be sharp, be strong, and be safe. Be happy, be healthy, be humble, and always be courageous. Also, please remember, guys, that ultimately there's only two different paths in life. One path leads to blissful ignorance. The other path leads to meaning, purpose, and fulfillment in your life. And the selection between those two paths for your life, the choice is in your hands. So please, choose wise. Go out there, walk in this authority, this new level of victory that he has granted you. Help others, give back, and if you're not there yet, just keep on going. Nothing can stop you if you don't stop for nothing, because he will never leave you, nor will he go against you. That's what I got for you guys. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. I am Brother Minister Mongoose. Forgot to leave. He'll pardon me as I ask for his forgiveness. Got to give my testimony. If you aren't familiar with it, check it out in all of the other videos. But I'm really trying to make an committed effort to keep these ministries, these messages, from 25 to 30 minutes. I believe that's more convenient for you guys' schedule as well. So I'll leave the testimony in the other video. I'll make certain of it. If you haven't seen it or you're not familiar with it, send me an email or check it out in the other videos. That's what I got. That's what I got for you guys. I love you all. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back.